Greetings, warriors at the end of time. Welcome to Ludonauts. I'm your host, the narrator, a cosmic being dwelling in a vast crystal pavilion at the heart of the multiverse. Every month, I extract 3 mortal humans from their pods, and we engage in the game of Troika by Melsonian Arts Council, a whimsical world of high fantasy and adventure. Without any further ado, let me introduce the Ludonauts themselves.
Hello, I'm Craig, and today I'll be playing Getbit, a Temple Knight of Telak.
I'm Michael, and I'll be playing Peter Penumbra, the Kakajin.
My name's Robin, and I'll be playing Pig, the Derivative Dwarf.
Previously on Ludonauts, our heroes undertook a perilous heist to steal a riddle from a sphinx at a party where reality was breaking down. It's worth a listen. During the party, they encountered fellow inhabitant of their boarding house, Damp Kenneth, a befouler of ponds. A truly unpleasant character, let us say. It has been several days since that party and he has not been seen. Not that this ballers get bit Peter and Pig. Anyway, on with the show. We find ourselves once again, dear friends, in the great city sphere of Troika. Take the owl's eye view as we follow the sluggishly flowing Grudgewater south to the less than salubrious locale known as Malcher's End. And at the rotten heart of Malcher's Ends, we find ourselves in Goodcrumble Square. Dominating the top corner of the square is an enigmatic structure, a great black spire composed of some unknown material cast into twisting alien shapes. What hands or other appendages constructed this cyclopean monolith, and for what purpose, we do not know, but its current inhabitants know it only as Mrs. Stiffprune's boarding house. It is morning. In their rooms, Peter Penumbra and Pig are still slumbering after a fairly late night at the Pickle Dragon Inn. Getbit is sitting on the edge of his bed, his eyes wide open in a deep meditation of readiness.
This is like you never use the sleep function, you just,
I'm
just sit in a
always
chair
ready.
and wait.
The doors are crumbling inward.
I like to imagine that we not only do we share one room, we're all sharing one.
You've all got different rooms. Each room in the upper floors are like, if you imagine a beehive.
Mm-hmm.
The rooms are sort of irregularly shaped, but Mrs. Stiffprune's imposed her own sense of decor on the place. So if you imagine if Coronation Street was designed by H.R. Geiger, that's what it looks like inside. You know, there's ducks on the wall.
There's some watercolours of people sort of at the beach, at a generic beach that could be anywhere, sort of hung over a screaming, snarling demon face.
Basically, yeah, sort of biomechanical doors, all that, and also little dolls over the toilet roll.
There's doilies on everything.
Yeah.
But on like the black void.
The two of you who are sleeping are woken by a loud crash from downstairs. Getbit, I would say, swings into action, but he was already ready for action.
This is it. It's the end of the world, lads. It's happening.
It's the doors.
Oh, I've told you. I warned you.
Peter Penumbra will groggily rouse himself and stuff some false glass eyes into the dark, empty voids in the front of his face so that he can now see light again and exit the room.
That's haunting.
I imagine them sitting in a little glass by the side of his bed.
Bobbling in the water.
Pig uncurls himself from under the large mushroom that he sleeps under, and takes off his cartoonishly long sleeping hat and puts on his cartoonishly long regular outside hat and goes to investigate the noise.
The only difference is the sleeping hat's got a bobble on it.
Oh yeah. You can't have your bubble on your outside hat.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And I'll eagerly follow, being like, I was up first.
Well, you're just that slow at actually getting up.
Well, like you said first, so years ago
Yeah.
first.
You were too busy letting everyone know that the doors were
I kind
crumbling.
of assumed that you were already in like the process of rushing.
Well, I'm eager, but I'm not committed to it yet. It's a terrifying. The end of the world is happening downstairs.
I suppose I should probably retrieve a sword or something as well, just in case.
I walk downstairs, a sword in each hand.
Mm-hmm. Plus, their swords.
All the swords jangling on me.
I mean, you aren't actually in your night clothes.
No.
You don't even have night clothes.
Do you even have a bed in your room?
Well,
It's what we're sitting on, bolt upright.
Yeah. It's a nice place you can place your swords and look at them. Also, I've got that sword that's a guy. Yeah.
If I recall.
The noise seemed to come from the kitchen.
Okay, so we meet up and I'll be like, do you know what's going on? Are we being broken into?
Well, it's either a break-in or Midnight Larry's having a little dinner snack. And I really hope it's a break-in.
We should stop whispering and attack.
Onwards?
Onwards into the kitchen we go.
You're standing in the hallway outside the kitchen. What's your plan of operation? Are you going to burst in? Are you going to gingerly look in?
I would gingerly look in, but I suspect that that's no longer an option.
I think the best and moral option is to loudly run in as sword first, two swords directly in front of us, just screaming unintelligibly. But I'm putting that up as a plan. That's what I'm pitching.
I mean, that's your go-to entering and exiting any room.
I have recently learned how to cast fire, and I really want to do it, but I don't. I think a classic swords first approach is maybe the best thing here.
Gitbit is explaining his plan. I will gingerly peek in through the crack in the doorway.
You see in the centre of the kitchen there's a large pile of pots and pans and 2 feet sticking out from them.
I will enter as silently as I can.
Okay, there's sort of sobbing coming from the pile.
Okay.
We should strike while the iron is hot here. Our enemy's clearly down. We can finish them off.
Pig will rap on one of the pots and say, "You alright in there? Had a bit of a late night accident?"
You hear a voice say, "Nibberwong, is that you?"
The Pig goes through all 7 emotions of grief extremely rapidly before settling finally into acceptance. Yes, Kenneth, it's me.
I'm stuck.
Peter, come over here and give me a hand getting all the pots. It's damp, Kenneth.
Okay, well, they will need washed as well.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah.
And, but
Yeah. Don't keep an eye on the door in case they come for us.
facing away from me, preferably.
I can have a sword out and a sword back. Just continually turning, keeping an eye on everything.
Twirling towards freedom. Yes, let's dislodge poor Kenneth here.
Not poor.
Damp Kenneth.
Yeah.
Poor damp Kenneth.
You start to move the heavy pots and pans off him, and you notice something seems awry. As he gets up, you notice that he seems to have aged about 60 or 70 years. He's got a long, somewhat mossy beard. He's gnarled, and decayed's not quite the right word, but he's considerably older than he was last time you saw him.
Christ, how long was I asleep?
Oh, we've all forgotten our alarms again.
You alright there, Kenneth? You're not looking well.
I only wanted some porridge. Mrs. Stiffprune does always have a large pot of porridge on the go for people coming and going.
Okay. Is it in the area?
It's been knocked over as well.
Ah, okay, so just porridge everywhere.
It's quite thick, it's not going a lot far.
Should we pick up a handful and just flat pan at them?
I take out my axe and I gingerly carve Damp Kenneth a brick.
A slice.
He starts chewing up. I'm very hungry. I don't know. I feel so weak. I don't know what's wrong with me.
What do you remember, Damp Kenneth?
I was in the cavern. It was nice and cool and damp. And then when I came out, everyone was gone.
Oh.
There was a fire or something.
Yes, and I think possibly some kind of space-time warping as well.
Goblins.
Which, now that I'm thinking about it, might be relevant. We didn't do anything. At all.
We did leave him behind.
I feel like
We did very much leave Damp Kenneth behind.
I think what's
I
happened
don't
is
think we were even there.
we've unintentionally performed a good public service.
By reducing the amount of Damp Kenneth that will
Yeah.
be available.
Oh, and Peter wasn't there, right?
No.
You guys were.
Nobody saw me there. They can't prove anything.
You guys were hanging with Baron Romulus.
Oh yeah, he was a good guy. Should we wet Kenneth? Do you think it's just a situation where he needs to be wetted? Because he's often quite wet, but now he looks old and dry.
So just make him a nice cup of tea.
Well, I was thinking we could
Drench him.
There's a sink. We could just place him in the sink and hose him down. And
What I'll do is I'll start doing the dishes that Damp Kenneth has got all of his oily residue all over, and in so doing I'll just splash some soapy water towards his general direction as I go.
Not soapy water.
yeah, what are you trying to do here? You're going to kill him. Fresh Kenneth.
That's somehow even more disturbing than Damp Kenneth already is. I don't want to see.
He'd probably be too enthusiastic about being fresh.
There's a voice from the door. My goodness, what is going on here? You turn round to face the formidable form of Mrs. Stiffprune.
I take off my hat immediately. Very respectful.
Mrs. Stiffprune is a very starchy, somewhat bird-like woman in her late 60s. At the moment, she's in her sort of big padded dressing gown and she's got her hair up in rollers.
Mm-hmm.
A comedy upstairs landlady.
Yeah.
I'll just say, good morning!
What is the commotion here?
Something to do with damp Kenneth, I believe. He knocked over all of your pots. I'm just cleaning up.
I think Kenneth had a little bit of an accident.
He's too dry.
She walks over to him. My goodness, Kenneth, what happened to you, you poor man? I don't know. I'm decrepit now.
Well, you were always fairly decrepit. It's just...
Now you finally look how you sound, Kenneth. Still, pension's nearly ready.
Yeah, I mean, this is all... I mean, we seem like we've sorted out here, really.
This won't do at all. You must take him to the apothecary or something. There must be something we can do for him. You can't leave your companion in this state, surely.
At this time of night.
It's morning.
At this time of morning.
I've never been up at 10. What happens?
I thought you were supposed to be always alert and always prepared.
Well, I'm prepared, but I'm not prepared
I'm not
to take
prepared
Kenneth.
to take care of Kenneth.
Yeah, there's limits.
I mean, we're up and about now, and I'm whittling a piece of Mrs. Stiffprune's porridge into an eatable shape.
Yeah.
As we're talking, we might as well take him. I've got nothing else going on.
I've got to buy some plasma cores anyway, so...
Double A, triple A.
I don't know it.
I think
There's a
they're
difference.
I think they're just A.
Yeah. Does anybody know where an apothecary is?
So how long have your characters been living in the neighbourhood?
I would say that Peter has been in... He would have come to Mrs. Stiffprune's more or less immediately upon coming into Troika. So I am going to just say probably 2 months.
13 to 14 years.
Has Git been living in Mrs. Stiffprune's that long? Or is it more? Has he only come more recently to the...
Did you get kicked out of the Temple of Telai?
Well, like, we're on missionary work for Telak, aren't we? Like, we're spreading the good word.
So
I don't know
you've
what you're doing.
So you've come to Maltshires End to spread the word of Telak.
Sure.
Have you got a little badge? Have you got a little badge that just says...
Well, I did have, like, flyers and leaflets, but that was 13 to 14 years ago. I've gone through them.
Just sat
I'm waiting
there.
to hear back.
Pig has been living at Mrs. Stiffprune's boarding house for a little over a year.
So you know that in Good Crumble Square outside there is in fact an apothecary. There's Dr. Rotfang, but he's a famous drunkard. You know that
Seems like our man.
Yeah.
You know he's good enough for patching up wounds, things, and he will not say anything to the militia.
Very important.
But you wouldn't necessarily trust him to do even a tonsillectomy or something like that, you know.
I think we could trust him with damn Kenneth, though, right?
Are there any other apothecaries apart from dubious medical license dubious Rotfang?
Rotfang.
Rotfang.
Do you want to roll against skill?
I would love to roll against skill.
Even if you do find out, I think we should use this as an opportunity, because it's morning, right? So we should go for an early drink with damn Kenneth, chat it over, and then take the apothecary
That's a no.
some, like, wasp drinks, some wasp beers, and sort it out. 'cause
Grab some titties on the way.
I reckon I do know where there's another apothecary.
You've never visited yourself, but you are aware of another apothecary, Old Mother Crumhorn, whose practice is, in fact, just behind the Pickled Dragon.
Okay. Well, I see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we can swing through, grab a little plate of pickled pig knuckles or something.
Ooh, delicious.
Get a little bag for all of us. Grab a bevy to go, and we'll just sort of decant him.
What do you guys think they sell in apothecaries? Because I'm hearing
No,
an awful
but-
lot about wasp drinks.
No, because the pub's on the way.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
behind the Pickled Dragon.
And I'll be honest with you, Peter, no route we could have taken wouldn't have taken us past the pub.
That's true.
It doesn't seem urgent, is the thing. Like, it doesn't seem like an A&E type of thing. Like, presumably he's going to get older. There's still, like, ways to go.
I
He's
mean-
not a skeleton.
Generally speaking, once you get old, there's only really one direction of travel. So
He could have a good 20 years left in him.
yeah. Anyway, Kenneth, come on.
Oh dear, he picks himself up. He's a little bit shaky on his feet after his unfortunate incident with the pans.
Do you need a stick or something now?
If I could lean on one of you, that would make it easier.
Well, you
of course.
can't. But here, have this umbrella.
I was going to suggest we rock, paper, scissors for it.
No.
But this is crueler.
Okay, he takes the umbrella and he uses it as a sort of makeshift walking stick.
Good.
Keep up, Kenneth!
Oh, we're not doing jogging, are we?
No, but we're just going to do a light walk, but he's old, yeah.
We hobble our way down to the apothecary.
Okay. Good Crumble Square, it's fairly quiet this morning. There are a few orphans from the Order of the Seven-Headed Goddess's Home for Foundlings, which is more or less opposite the street from Mrs. Stiffprune's. You head across the square, past the Pickled Dragon and the tannery. Now behind the Pickled Dragon there's an old boathouse which is lying in ruins, but attached to that is the only marginally less ruined building that is Old Mother Crumhorn's apothecary. There's a big rotten, like a wooden mock-up of a potion jar, potion bottle, and that's the sign, but it's starting to decay.
This looks promising. I can only describe it as promising. It's decayed. He's decayed. Like meets like.
It's quite misty as well. Do you think we should just like hold Kenneth up? You know, like you could absorb the mist into him through his various pores and orifices.
The less I think about Damp Kenneth's various pores and orifices, the better my life will be.
I'm just trying to like, you know, spitball here.
Oh, enough about Damp Kenneth's spitballs as well. I rap on the door.
It seems open.
I push on the door.
Places of business generally just let you walk in.
I'll burst in loudly.
You step in, each in your own way. There's a little chime as you walk in. You find yourself in a fairly dark, pokey sort of, maybe chamber's not the right word, room. There's countless shelves laden down with books, potions, bags and jars of odd ingredients. There's a counter. There's no one here at the moment. You hear a voice from another room saying, "I'll be with you presently, dearies."
I'll say, "Mind the step, Kenneth," as I let the door swing back and hit him in the face. And I'll have a look around. Have they got any plasma cores? Is that sort of thing you'd find in an apothecaries?
No, it's more medical. In the corner of the room, there's a large cage which has the most evil-looking raven you've ever seen. It eyes you with a look that can only be described as utter hatred.
I'll go over and I'll say, "Hello. What's your name then, little thing? Can you speak?" And I'll look around to see if there's like signs for it or anything, like a price.
It doesn't really move much, but you don't feel like risking your fingers or putting them anywhere near the cage.
Pig flattens himself against the opposing wall because, as a dwarf, he's very terrified of large birds. They've been known to sort of pick up dwarves and just
Carry them off to their nests.
Carry them off to their nests.
The door's rattling. Damp Kenneth's struggling to get in. The door's a bit heavy for him.
Oh, so about this bird then.
I'll open it dramatically inwards.
So that the force by which he was trying to push it open will lead him to launch himself forwards and fall down the front step.
He needs to sort himself out.
Yeah.
Like, he absolutely does.
Well, that doesn't quite happen. Okay, so Damp Kenneth enters. You hear a voice it seems like coming from upstairs. "Just coming, dearies."
So is the end of the world.
What is Telek's position on that exactly?
It's coming.
Yeah.
And it's coming soon. Now, 13 to 14 years ago, I thought that was, that was the soonness in which it was coming, but it has been a wee while since he told us about that.
And do you think that's going to be a bad thing or a good thing?
I think a bad thing,
Okay.
and then a bad thing for a long time,
Okay.
and then if we're all still around after that, still a bad thing. But I mean, eventually for maybe your children or your children's children, if they get to live, then it'll still be a bad thing. But after that...
So your readiness for the end is very much in a kind of trying to prevent it, kind of...
No.
No?
No.
It's
Just
the sunlit uplands of the end of the world.
It's mostly just about awareness. It's coming.
Just raising awareness?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other products in the apothecary that catch my eye?
Nothing's obvious. Everything's covered in a bit of a layer of dust and grime.
Can I use second sight in any way to see if there's anything important here? I don't know what second sight does.
It detects if there's magic.
What's the apothecary?
Go for it.
Yes, because I have improved it now. That is a success.
There's definitely magic present.
Well, that's a good sign.
Good to know.
Old Mother Crumhorn emerges from the back room. She's a beautiful woman in her mid-20s with long flowing red hair and an apron, various pockets with various dried herbs and other assorted things. "Now, dearies, how can Old Mother Crumhorn help you?"
Okay.
To be fair, this does seem to be like an expert in what we're trying to get fixed.
Is this like a pandemic type situation? Are people, like, aging wrong?
Mother Crumhorn.
Yes, dearie.
Our acquaintance, Damp Kenneth here.
Ooh, aren't you a pretty one?
He has seemingly gotten significantly older in the space of a night and would like to reverse this.
No.
We did leave him in a time-space thing.
I did nothing of the sort.
No.
But you would have, and we acted on your best intentions.
Ooh, come here, dearie. Let's have a look at you then. She walks up to him and she sort of pinches him and prods him.
You might want to wear gloves.
She says, oh, accelerated quantum aging, yes.
Have you got anything that could counteract that?
Or make him be quiet.
Or just take him off our hands, really? Like, we'd take a
you see-
reasonable price.
You seem quite taken with him. You can have him.
He's normally quite damp.
Hence the name.
There's one thing, which could help him.
Yes.
The Magnifastus seeds. One seed will reset your body to how it was 6 hours previously.
Right.
Now, in this gentleman's case, if all his aging happened at once, 3 or 4 seeds should reset him.
And do you have such seeds?
No.
Do you know
Right.
all?
That would have been a really easy in and out little adventure.
Yeah.
We all go off to the pharmacy. Oh, have you got the tablets? Yes. Wonderful. Off for another bevy.
That was kind of the plan.
The Magnifasta grows on the slopes of Mount Hellfire on the sphere of the Tarantula Overlords.
We don't like Kenneth this much.
How far away is that? Does anybody know?
It's a dangerous and perilous journey across many different spheres.
I mean, it does sound like it.
It's like a dangerous and perilous journey to go to the bathroom. This is Troika. Everything is dangerous and perilous. It's a miracle we've been living in Mrs. Stiff rooms for more than 20 minutes.
Kenneth, you've had a good run.
Tell you what, there's another place you might be able to find them.
Oh?
The walled garden of Wallon Gagniazidak.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And that is?
It's near the Infinite Library in Diaprise.
Okay, well that's got to be like, I don't know, maybe at most like an hour and a half bus ride, right?
It's about 40 minutes by train or 20 minutes by Blatherwing, which is
Blatherwing.
a flying taxi.
So it's a bladder wing and intestine trains.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we'll put it to a vote. Thanks for the information.
How much do you reckon those would set Kenneth back? Well, if we got them.
If you bring me some, I would happily buy some off your hands.
Well, why didn't you lead with that? Financial recompense. Now that's a motivator.
And I'm sure you wouldn't let your friends suffer.
Oh, we could put him out of his misery. Mrs. Stiffroom wouldn't notice if just the 3 of us came back.
The problem is, I like damp Kenneth.
Do you?
I do, but, like, to what degree, like, is the question. Not enough.
I think I like him enough for a 40-minute bus ride.
Here's the thing. How much would you pay us if we got these seats?
Well, here's another proposition. Have you been to the pub that, sort of, I imagine... I think you share, like, a back wall? Have you met...
Not directly.
Not
but
directly, but have you met Smirkanov the barman?
he's a funny fellow.
Yeah. We've run up a really big bar tab again.
We do, yeah, we did that very quickly.
Because we all
We
forgot to say-
absolutely could have paid it this time as well as the problem.
We really were taking the mickey.
Yeah.
If you square that, that's easily worth however much these seeds were.
She spits in her hand and holds it out to you.
We've been handling damp Kenneth all day. This is the cleanest hand I've touched.
I think that's a really bad deal you've made there, Pig, but it's done now.
All we have to do is rack up enough bar debt before we bring the seeds back.
We could have a big lunch.
Pub lunch at the Pickle
Yeah.
Joint.
Well, that's traditional dwarfish situation. You celebrate every occasion with a big knees up.
Yeah.
So, big lunch, and then are we doing the library, or are we doing the Tarantula Hellfields?
We're doing the library.
Doing the
'cause
library.
The Tarantula Hellfield, so it's too far out of the way.
It's too far
Yeah.
out of the way. Yeah, so big lunch then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could maybe see if we can find somewhere that's doing this crumble.
Well, we're gonna rack up more debt.
Okay.
And pop
Pop
up.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
We go in and during this brief little interlude, I have the world's first fully gold-plated full English, or the full Troika as it's known.
It's like
it's,
full English, but it's just got like space splatters as part of it.
It's got space bladders, and the toast is in the shape of like a Mobius strip and never truly ends.
Yeah, it's not open yet.
Bugger.
We can wait till it opens though, surely, right?
I think the seeds are pretty time dependent. We should probably go along to the library and stop mucking about.
Kenneth, in your current state, do you think that you'd be any use on a kind of, I don't know, caper or adventure or heist?
I think I'll stay here with Mrs. Crumhorn.
Absolutely fair. You'll just owe us one, I guess.
You're too light on him, you know.
Yeah.
You could have like deflected bullets with his body.
Well, I would have been.
They could have like slipped off him.
I would have maybe tried to pressure some more like reward out of them, but we've already made our deal now, so we're just getting our bar tab paid.
And it's a big bar tab.
It is a big bar tab.
And we have not yet chosen whether or not we'll actually give him 3 or 4 of these seeds, because we don't know how many we're going to get.
You're saying we could just like get them and sell them on to the hospital?
Well, we've got to give some to the apothecary.
Yeah.
But,
Just let them die.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally not, but...
I think ideally, yeah.
Do any of you guys have any sort of botany skills or any sort of plant identification skills? Anything along those sort of lines?
Not at all.
I have astrology.
No, not really relevant.
Yeah.
So you're just going to wander.
Before we leave, I request a picture from an almanac from good old Mother Crumhorn
Okay, she provides you with a small guide to exotic plants, which has it in it.
for 6 to 10 year olds.
Yes.
Let's take a note of what are these seeds called?
Magna Faustus.
Magna Faustus seeds. Right, let's go for lunch somewhere, because apparently the pub's shut.
We pub's shut.
And then I'll see if I can find somewhere to re-up my plasma core.
Oh yeah, you do have errands
I've
there.
got to get these, and then we can continue on.
Shall we skip straight to the bit where we're in media res to when we're at the library? So we've had our delicious lunch.
It depends on what the games master
There's
says. Right?
all sorts of drama that can happen at lunch.
That's a good point.
No, let's you're quite right.
The party decide to stock up on any supplies they might need before venturing off to the walled garden.
It's a walled garden, is it? We
It's
might
a walled garden.
need a ladder.
Do you want to buy even more swords or anything like that?
I mean, I probably should, because it's related to my defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's related to my skills. But no, I'm alright. I've got that talking sword.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel perfectly happy with everything I've got.
Well, I guess let's get a flying bladder barge or whatever it was called.
Blatherwing.
Bladderwing.
Blathering is the quickest form of travel and transport in Troika. It's sort of like a living hot air balloon.
Okay.
And then there's a sort of a small canopy that hangs under it. The Blatherwing pilot has like a little propeller that he uses to guide the Blatherwing.
How much for a ticket?
1 silver.
Okay.
Oh, we can easily afford that.
And I tuck a small mechanical sun under my hat to avoid
Well remembered!
having to pay for a child's ticket.
I've been using my entire willpower to wish him into non-existence again. It didn't work.
Why do you hate our son?
Because he's very suspicious.
Did he do anything suspicious on our last caper?
No, but that just makes him more suspicious.
Well, tell you what's suspicious.
Why would
narking
he-
on someone.
Why would he
Peter.
just appear and then be perfectly loyal to us?
So the little mechanical man, this morning he's wearing a pair of short trousers and he's got a little scarf on as well.
Aww.
Where did he get these things?
It's only you that has these
suspect-
problems, Peter.
You suspect Mrs. Stiffprune might have supplied him with them.
Aww.
In the 2 days he's been there, he's made himself very popular around the house by doing odd tasks, polishing silverware, that sort of thing.
Do you know why,
No one's
Peter?
asking any questions about this thing.
Well, Mrs. Stiffwood's asking, how tall is he? Does he look good in cashmere? It's really hard to knit a scarf, but she's got the tiniest little knitting
Even
needles in the
Mrs.
world.
Stiffprune loves our son.
Mrs. Stiffprune does love Damp Kenneth as well, so she's probably not a good reference point for objective humanity.
She's quite a motherly, if somewhat stern presence over all the inhabitants of the house.
She runs a tank ship.
She does.
She runs a tight, monolithic monstrosity of a building.
How large is the monolithic monstrosity of a boarding house?
Maybe about 60 or 70 foot up, but there's some, not all of it's habitable. Some of the corridors are too small.
Not all of it's Euclidean.
Yeah.
Gidbit's room's got 5 right angle corners in it.
I wonder if our son has a bed.
I have seen Mrs. Stiffprune getting a little box of fantasy Kleenex and a tiny little pillow. And I don't think he sleeps, but he definitely curls up.
I'm absolutely sure she's not charging him to stay there, and I'm absolutely sure that he's not been volunteering any money.
Well, obviously he isn't, because he's a child.
Well,
He's a child. He doesn't have money.
We know he has 200.
None of you actually know what your little metal friend has done with the money he got given.
I know you had a difficult childhood, Peter, and we're trying to not pass that on to our child.
You need to let people in, Peter. You need to
Who we
emotionally...
found 2 days ago in the lift in a hotel. Anyway, he's under Pigborn's hat so as to ensure for everyone that he's there.
I don't have the best memory, but I assume he saved our lives.
Well, he did, I think, deliver the killing blow to that bear.
There you go.
There you go.
That artificial man.
Artificial man.
Okay, you travel a little bit out of Goodcrumble Square to the nearest Blatherwing Park and you enlist the services of a Blatherwing pilot to take you there. It's a short 20-minute hop by Blatherwing. You look out across the iconic Troika skyline and you can see in the distance the Basilica of the Enormitarch, the Golden Barge Port, the Tree of Godrain, and of course the Martyrium of St Jude. The Blatherwing touches down in front of the Fractal Library. So the Fractal Library is like an enormous granite snail shell shaped building with smaller, also snail shell shaped buildings on top of that, and on top of them, and so on until they become too small for the eye to see. Now this area of Troika was quite heavily damaged during the Wizards' War from about 50 or 60 years ago, when a civil war broke out amongst the various colleges of wizards. So as I say, this area received quite a lot of heavy damage, but now it's starting to become more gentrified again as people move back in, although they still have to avoid various perhaps magical traps or spells that haven't been completely diffused yet. So what I'm saying is, it's not a bad area as such, but you still have to be wary.
I didn't realise that we'd paid to go on the Troika City tour as Blatherwing. But, I mean, I suppose it's helpful.
The gentrifiers, they like that little spot of danger, because it means it's more authentic. I don't know exactly what authentic means, but I hear it a lot.
I was ready to hate these wizards, hearing about this wizard war, but we are wizards now.
I've been a wizard as long as you've known me.
Yeah, we are wizards now.
Yeah.
I remember the Wizard Wars.
Do you?
Yeah. No, I was really small.
Oh, you were smaller.
Yeah. No.
Really?
I keep thinking that you were like carved out of granite, but that's not.
Well, I was. Yeah.
But you've grown.
Granite doesn't carve itself. Okay.
I feel like I was told off for thinking that you were a statue man.
So imagine a bird who would hold a bee like a chisel.
Okay.
That's how dwarves get made.
Well, that's helped in no way, shape, or form. But we'll just move on.
Just staring into the ground, a bee, chisel. I thought I knew the world. This has been a morning.
So, it's a gentrified area, eh?
The overall area, yeah. The library itself is a fairly old building, as is the walled garden behind it as well.
So we're not actually going into the library, do we? We just have to get to this
We have to do the
walled
one walled garden,
Okay.
yeah, that's where the seats supposedly are.
Can we ask the Blatherwing to drop us off in the walled garden?
It's walled, they probably won't be.
Well, I mean, it's
up for that.
walled, it's not roofed, isn't it? It's not a roofed, the famous roofed garden of Troika.
I mean, I'm not going to stop you asking, but I don't think they'll be
Well,
up for
you've
it.
already been dropped off in front of the library.
You're too late!
There's an area for Blatherwings to land. They're not going to land on like rough terrain for you. Or anything like that.
No, but we could jump out. We could fall.
But then how would we get out of it again?
Let's go into the library, maybe?
Yes, maybe we can go through the library,
Yeah.
into Walled Garden, into the seed zone, obtain the seeds, and then reverse the process.
We could ask a librarian. We could be like, librarian.
That's what I would like to do. I'd like to look for a librarian.
Okay, so you're going into the library.
Yeah. Yeah.
Swords drawn.
Don't draw your swords, they won't like that.
Well, they can not like it.
Okay. I'll stand a few steps away from Git Bits.
So you walk up the steps into the library. You find yourself in a large oval entrance hall. You can see various passages leading off, all lined with books, as you would expect. There's a sort of reception desk, and the receptionist is a glowing skeleton.
Ooh.
The library, this is the first time any of the three of you have been, but you know that the library is staffed entirely by Lichs, who have an undying thirst for knowledge, who use sorcery to continue their studies even into death.
That does sound like the kind of person you would want to have running a library.
So, librarians, really.
Librarians. Is that what I would pronounce as lich? Is there a T in it?
There's not a T in it. I don't think.
Lick.
I do believe they are commonly pronounced as liches, licks, and likes.
Okay. Yes, I'll approach the desk and I'll say, "Good day, my good librarian, sir." Or madam. It's a bit hard to tell. Sorry if that's rude.
Yes. How might I assist you?
I'm looking for any information and perhaps some samples on some plants that I believe may be stored in the walled garden attached.
Walled garden is not part of the library. It is its own. We do not deal directly with it. There's a groundskeeper that is in charge of the garden, but he has not been seen for many years.
Is that so?
What does he look like?
He has skin
Yeah.
and hair. I think he wears clothes.
I should hope.
Was it a large amount of skin or like a thin amount of skin? Like a...
The standard amount of skin, similar to your good selves.
Okay.
So the groundskeeper has been missing for some time.
I have not seen him for some years.
Have you noticed how well the grounds are kept in that intervening time?
I have very little need to go into the garden.
I did fear about that.
Could we get into the garden from here?
Yes, it's round the back. It's open to the public if you're brave enough.
Oh, well, excellent. While we're here, though, I was wondering, could we look up any information about Magnifaustus seeds? Or the Magnifaustus plant in general?
That will be floor 317, botany.
Is there a lift?
No.
Okay.
That means there's 317 flights of stairs, though.
It does, yes.
317 things that can happen on each and every single landing. It's tough accessing public services in Troika.
It really is.
You should see what it's like to go pay your taxes every single year.
Should we find out anything about Magnifaustus seeds, or should we just skip it?
There is a small amount of information in the book that Peg has.
Yeah. Could we maybe just read that book and...
Yeah, it's got a little character called Weedy the Weed.
Okay. Are you sure that's not just a piece of graffiti?
It seems to be a pretty a recurring motif, one might say. I do think this book is for children.
Okay.
Flicking through to find the appropriate pages for Magnifaustus.
Well, I think we should just mosey on down to the garden. I was coming in here, swords in hand, expecting a fight with your good self, Mr. Skeleton, but you seem quite calm. Do you know the end of the world's coming? I know it probably doesn't.
Which world?
Well, I mean, like, kind of in general, all the worlds.
Well, you could say the end of the world's always coming. I mean, that's.
I often do. I
Yes.
often do. But it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. She extends a bony hand.
I'll shake it
Shakes.
firmly with my sword still in my hand.
Well, let's go into the open to the public garden. I foresee no problems.
No, well, I thought we should have vented from there, but no one was listening to my things because I wasn't speaking them out loud.
Is this how Get Bit goes to all things that open to the public? Ooh, let's go to a National Trust property this weekend. I'll bring my high orbital insertion kit and deploy with a smoke flare attached to my leg, crashing down into the middle of the cafe, killing 4 or 5 elderly people with heart attacks from the shock.
Well, the day's still young.
And only one with the dropkick that I deliver from orbit.
The Wizard's War was a cruel, cruel thing, but maybe the peace is cooler.
Let's leave the library, and let's, before we go into the walled garden area, I would like to try and second sight it to see if I can, see magic around the door.
You walk round the back of the library. It seems to take strangely longer than it ought to walk round it, but you do get there.
That seems to be more often the case than not, honestly.
So there's a small, well-maintained green, and then at the end of it, there's a high red brick wall with a fairly rusty-looking gate. You can see through the gate. There seems to be some sort of overgrown flower garden. Are you going to roll?
I'm going to second sight. Yep, that's success.
You don't pick up anything obvious. There's a hint of magic almost as a sort of background radiation, but that's perhaps could be expected somewhere so close to the fractal library.
Okay.
I can take point on this one if you'd like.
Please do.
I'll take out my sword that is a magical sword.
Huzzah!
Oh, it's Second Son!
Second son! I've got a...
What's the adventure?
We're going to be hacking away at plant matter.
Plant matter.
We're going to get seeds!
You're going to
Seeds.
You're going to clear the way.
See, a swords to plowshare scenario, is it?
Yes.
It's a good thing he didn't see those lectures. He's been really, 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 really disappointed about all this undead guardians of ancient knowledge.
I wanted to fight the skeletons. They just happened to be lovely.
Yeah. Just guys.
Just guys.
Just guys. Let's go in.
Hack and slash when I see plants. Just see a plant, hack, slash.
They'll probably thank you for that, because they haven't had a gardener for many years. It's all overgrown.
If anybody questions us, I'm going to claim to be the groundskeeper.
You're in what must have once been a very beautiful flower garden. So there's walls on every side. At the far end of the flower garden, there's another doorway, and there's one on the left-hand side as well. There's a small figure moving amongst the flowers, and it seems to be it's carrying like a big bouquet of flowers that it's picked.
I'll raise my finger at it and track it as it's moving. I'll be like, halt, make arms in the air, or I'll set you all ablaze.
We should have hidden the scroll of firebolt from him.
It's going to come in very handy in this Triffid adventure.
The person looks round,
Go on, no
and you
idea.
recognise the old lady that was in the lift.
Church with the red church.
Yep, the old lady, the aficionado of the red church. She comes sort of tottering over to you. Oh, well, hello there.
Hello. Don't like you.
I was going to say that because we recognise her from the lift that we should just let you fly free with your fire shooting, but
Yeah.
Actually I seem to recall you were one of the nicer ones. Although you were trying to entrap us with fey food.
To be fair, she did just offer us a bag of bonbons,
Yeah.
and it was entirely in our own power to say, sample one, like I did, or sample an entire gobbet full. The maximum possible mouth capacity that, say, a random knight of Telak could possibly fit inside their gob.
You just have to be ever aware. That's the scenario.
Maybe you should be aware that you shouldn't cram an entire fistful.
Are you here to see the gardens? It's a disgrace how into disrepair they've fallen.
Yes, apparently the groundskeeper's been missing for some years. Do you know anything about that?
Don't know about that. I just came to see the library. I'm here on holiday, you know.
Oh, really?
I've been visiting all the sites. Have you visited the Martyrium of St. Jude yet?
No.
No, but it is a name we've heard before.
I was there yesterday. It was lovely.
How long have you been in the gardens? What do you think of them?
Oh, I just got here.
No.
Would you care for a flower? She holds up a bunch of flowers.
So you
that
would
she's
say
picked.
she holds up a bag of flour
No.
because she was very food-based, very judgmental about your diet.
You're not entirely sure she remembers you. It doesn't seem...
I'm pretty sure she doesn't remember me.
No.
We had words about religion last time, so I'm a
Yeah.
bit wary now.
So she holds a bunch of flowers towards the three of you. There's blue ones, red ones and green ones.
Now, are these enchanted in some way? Will they have some kind of an effect?
Presumably. But I'm going to take a yellow one and say thank you. I'm living a little.
Okay.
You're not listening though.
There's not a yellow
There's
one.
not a yellow one. I got so. I think
There's blue ones.
there's blue ones.
There's red ones.
There's red ones.
Green one?
Green ones.
Green
And
ones.
green ones. Sorry, for some reason I thought I'll take a green one, please.
Okay. That looks very dashing on you.
I'll abstain this time.
Okay.
Are you answering my question?
Sorry, what was the question?
As I said, are these enchanted in some way? Will they have some kind of noticeable effect?
Are you asking me or are you asking
I'm
the woman?
asking the woman, yeah.
No, they're just very pretty.
Oh, very well then, yes. I'll have a red one, please.
Okay, you take a red flower. Yeah, the old woman wanders off out of the front entrance.
She didn't spend very long looking at the gardens then, did she?
Well, she might. Well, she did say she just got here.
Yeah.
Sinister.
Almost like she wanted to avoid a lengthy interaction.
Do you think as she was talking with us, it slowly dawned on her that she remembered who we were. But she said I looked dashing.
She did say you looked dashing, so that's
I
nice.
feel dashing.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Peg, what did you take again?
A green flower.
A green flower.
That bastard.
Lied to your face.
Your luck is temporarily 2 higher.
Okay.
Apparently too higher.
And Peter, what did you take?
The red one.
Because your stamina is temporarily 3 higher.
Okay.
Okay. Very stamina.
It gets nothing.
Gets nothing, but maybe the third one would have been a negative, so.
I think we've been altogether too harsh on her.
I genuinely regret not setting her ablaze. She seemed like she would go up like kindling, but you just have to live with these regrets.
We are where we are.
We are where we are.
And
Other
where we
thi-
are
other
is the
things-
walled garden.
Other things will burn today.
Are there paths?
There are some paths that are very overgrown though, but they lead just to the...
I've got just the tool for that.
It's too wet to burn.
No, I'm taking my
Second son.
You're saying
second
sun?
and
Ah,
just
right,
slash away at them.
It's not really that level.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay. Oi! Oi, that's a bit rough, isn't it?
A bit rough. Like, you're not into this. Is this not what you live for? To be slashed? To be slung?
Hardly a deadly opponent, is it?
Just pretend that it is. And you'll have a happier life.
He starts making encouraging noises like, whoa, yeah,
Good work, son!
You can tell his heart's not really in it.
Yeah, but we can lie to each other.
Peg, you've got the book. Be on the lookout for the plant that's in the illustration.
One eye on the book, one eye on my surroundings, giving me a reduced view of both and constantly tripping, falling.
The Magnifaustus, it's a sort of purple, tubular-looking flower, and the seeds are quite small and yellow.
Would you like me to roll a roll?
It'd be wildly
No,
weird if they were just
you-
in this first zone of the
It
dungeon.
would be easy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There's no purple flowers whatsoever.
If we learned anything from Troika, that it would be very likely for us to do one colossal tour through all the man-eating Triffid exhibits, only to come back and trip over it on our way out.
Or for it to all be like a interconnected like loop that we
I think we just
could have just gone to the end thing first. No,
I think we have to take a page out of that old woman's book and just treat this like a nice day out.
I thought you were going to say we should take a leaf out of that old woman's book and just leave.
Well, we could do that as well. That's my point. It's a nice day out, right? Because we can go through this and get assaulted by triffids and whatnot, and get gunked on and sloshed on and ate and
So
spat out.
far, nothing untoward has happened.
Exactly. But like we could have a terrible day, right?
Yeah.
And then we could fail utterly. Say someone sets the whole garden on fire and all the plants burn down and die. And we could leave. And then all that would really be losing is damp Kenneth. Eventually. It's not even like a medical thing. Oh, I need this to live. He could have another 20 years in him.
Yeah.
I did shake hands with old Mother Comphorn. And it did tingle. And we spat on it. We did spit on
you
it.
spat on it, but it's not like a...
I'm not going to go back on it.
But you're not going back on it. You just failed.
failing.
You just failed to retrieve the thing. Like it's an exchange. She's going to pay the tab if you give her the seeds. If you can't give her the seeds, we're just left with a tab.
I just don't think that's very in the spirit of a spit in it handshake.
But I'm not saying like go out to fail. I'm just saying
we're trying to find these seeds.
we're gonna have a nice day. If it goes wrong, it goes
I'm
wrong.
happy to have a nice day. In fact, tell you what, I'll pull up the brim of my hat and I'll take out our little son and I'll put him on my shoulder so he can sit and he can enjoy the flowers and the sensations of the world around him because he needs to be cultured. I've just taken out the little man and I've put him on my shoulder so he can enjoy the sights and sounds of all the garden.
And we've come to the consensus: if we burn everything down and everything goes wrong, it's fine. We're just losing damp Kenneth.
Yeah.
It's a happy day. Like we don't have to. Basically, I'm saying
So win-win.
Yeah, it's a nice day. The sun's out. Like it's happy.
And once again, so far, nothing bad has happened.
It's stressless.
I'm learning a lot from this book. Did you know there's 6 different ways you can eat an onion?
Ooh.
I did not.
I didn't know that.
With your mouth, that's one.
Yeah.
With your mouth, you can crush it and lap the juices up from your palm.
That does sound nice, actually.
So, as I did mention previously, there are 2 doors leading out of this particular section. One straight in front of you and one on your left.
I think we take the one left.
Always go left.
Always
go left,
and
we'll go
we
left.
take it counterclockwise until we come back to the entrance and leave.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, you walk through the left-hand door and you find yourself in a small walled lane which goes on for maybe about 30 feet.
Okay.
This is pleasant.
I'm always wanting to do like perception checks to look for traps, but I don't have a skill for that anyway. So
I will, lads, if you'll cover me, have a pee against the wall.
okay, just like look out to make sure that nobody like walks past and sees you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wall's much higher than head height. It's just a straight lane. You can see about maybe 40 feet ahead of you. There is another.
Just go either
sort of
side of
wooden
me.
gateway.
You can see about 40 feet ahead of you. There is a public toilet. You don't need to do this.
I'm bursting now. Like,
Thrilling radio.
Okay, perhaps all those coffees have added up.
well, we came straight from the boarding house, went to the apothecary, and now we're here. Like, what do you want me to pee out the bladder wing, just onto the streets below?
Not entirely out of character for Gitbit.
No, that's true.
Also, it is called a bladder wing.
it's called a bladder wing. Yeah.
Anyway, that happens.
So
And
that
then,
happens. Right?
Then we go towards.
Okay, you have peed against the wall.
Thank you.
Then we go towards the other gates.
Are you going to just go through?
Yep.
I guess so. Nothing suspicious has happened at all so far.
We're just on a nice day out.
We met a nice old woman who
I
gave
would-
us some
I
flowers.
would really like it if nothing bad happens and we just go through the botanical gardens and have a really fun bonding day out.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since we've been out together without questing, without work.
The other thing is, I bet the narrator is listening out for us to say that we're looking for the plants that we're looking for, and because we haven't in this room, we've just walked straight past it.
Feed on that plant and left.
Died of caffeine poisoning. There's not much in the way of. I mean, it's a little bit. There's a few weeds and things, but there's nothing obvious. It's just gravel.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it as like a classic alleyway.
Yeah. Okay. You step through. In this area, you can see there's about maybe 25 or 30 little allotments, each with their own dilapidated shed. They're all in quite a bad state of repair, and all the allotments are all badly overgrown with weeds, apart from one, which is the nearest one to you as you walk in. You can see a figure maybe about 8 foot tall but very slender. He seems all one colour, like a sort of creamy plastic.
Well-dressed fellow?
It's not wearing any clothes at all. It seems to be some sort of automaton,
Okay.
or perhaps a robot of some sort. He has 2 single black lenses for eyes. He's holding a shovel. He seems to be doing a bit of digging.
Okay.
I mentioned he's sort of cream coloured, but he's like very, very dirty. And he's got a lot of sort of like rusty streaks and things on him.
Well, allotments. Could be growing it here.
Okay.
Hello!
Ah, hello there.
Hello. You appear to be doing some work. You're not the groundskeeper by any chance, are you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Because we just heard that he'd been missing, is all.
Oh, I haven't seen him for some time.
Okay.
Well, here he had skin.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
A normal amount of skin, or an average amount.
Yeah, the reasonable amount of skin.
And our friend here is an automaton, so maybe doesn't. Scream coloured.
Don't assume that he's an automaton. Are you an automaton?
I'm a gardening unit. This is my job. What I do, I garden.
Ah.
You seem to be pretty good at it.
I'm okay. I'm the last one left. You look sorrowfully around and you can see that each of the other allotments has the broken down parts of a similar looking automaton.
This is outrageous. Did people own you? Like, is there like a council that like put you here?
I worked for a while on Azidak.
Uh-huh.
I've not seen him since there was a big war.
The Wizard War, was it?
But like people, there was just an old woman here. Like, people have like been coming and watching you die. Your friends die, I guess. Your pals. Your automa pals.
Well, they had to die so I could keep going.
Oh, did you get their bits?
Did they just stop, or did you put them down with your bare hands?
Or your shovel?
Or your shovel?
Can't remember now.
Do you need fleshy bits at all?
No.
Oh, you're fine then.
Yeah,
So like,
I was like, maybe don't proffer the idea while we're here. You wouldn't happen to know where they've been growing the Magna Faustia, would you?
All the rare things. Mr. Azidak, he liked to look after them himself.
Okay.
so it'd be on like the core of the garden, like towards the middle, presumably.
I think it was in the cottage garden.
Is there anything that you want? Could we bring you any more parts, or
Do you have any parts on you?
we have a
No, we
sizable
don't.
collection of robot parts.
He looks at your little metal friend, sort of quizzically.
You bastard.
They may not fit.
I put my hand firmly, just sort kind of cupping our tiny son that we've clearly grown very emotionally attached to, Peter, and say, sorry, we don't have any mechanical parts. We've got a bit of cacogen for use, if that's anything to you.
I appreciate there was a war, right? But nobody's fixing you. Nobody's bringing you any bits. They're just letting you die.
People very rarely come by.
There was an old woman.
Do you want to stay here doing your labours? Is anybody keeping you here, or is this by choice?
Doing the gardens, doing the allotments, it's what I'm for.
You're doing one allotment.
My allotment, number one.
What,
Yeah,
what
but
did you say the name of your owner, I suppose?
While on Azidak.
Do you want to come with us? Because we're on a quest to have a rake in the garden, to have a look.
Or, even if you don't want to come with us on our quest, we do know the owner of a large boarding house who I assume could maybe benefit from some gardening work.
Leave the garden. No,
you
no.
leave this garden and do more gardening for someone else.
I was thinking what we could do
And have
is-
more access to people and new parts and things.
But this is my garden, this is what I'm for.
This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Come with us. Help us out gardening the whole garden to make it prettier. Because this area is on the up and up. There's a library next to you that's quite nice. It's like snails. And
If you don't want to leave this garden, if you're happy here, I'm happy to leave you. I just thought I'd give you the option.
We could always just go to Mr. Dagny Azadak and ask him to come and have a look. If he's the one who got the hold of his automaton in the first place, surely he knows what to get more replacement parts. And at least he could come and have a look at the thing he's making this thing do.
I mean, we could do that. I am assuming he's long dead.
You don't know.
I don't know, but
there
I'm
was
assuming.
a war.
There was a war.
And he's not been taking very good care of the place.
We need gardening advice.
Do we?
Yeah, well,
We're not broke.
we need, we're going to go area to area on this one, and we're going to come up against some plants and things, and soils and such, and we could really use your opinions on them. You look like you're handy with a shovel.
I can't leave the allotment, this is what I'm for.
Well, we tried our best.
That's fine. We'll leave you to it, I suppose. Although, do you know if there's anything dangerous in these gardens that we should look out for?
Yes.
Can you tell us what any of them are?
No.
Okay.
I've not left my allotment for centuries.
But you've heard the screams.
I can
Radio.
tell you one thing though.
Oh.
If you go into the maze, you won't come out again. Or you won't come out here anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you know where the maze starts?
It's at the far end of the garden.
Okay, and this is the close end of the garden.
Do you have to go through the maze to get to the cottages?
No.
Okay.
So look out for a maze, avoid a maze.
I can do that. Do you have a name? Or are you just gardening automaton?
I'm gardening automaton 1.
Thank you, Mr. 1.
You're my favourite gardening automaton.
It'd be really cool to say you're my second favourite.
Do you think it benefits being so tall doing gardening? Do you not want to be like closer to the soil? Are you not always like bending over and hurting your robot back?
What on earth are you offering this thing?
I'm just saying, you're so tall. Like,
He says, watch this. And his legs telescope downwards.
nice.
But his torso and arms remain
His
exactly.
torso, his arms can go up and down as well. His torso obviously remains the same size.
So you can like more easily get at high branches or low roots. Oh, very good.
We'll keep an eye on for some bits for you. We'll have a look out, see if there's any more like robot.
Before we move on, can I have a look at what's in his allotment? What's he been growing?
It seems to be the standard sort of thing: potatoes, carrots, grots, that sort of thing.
I could go for a carrot. I don't know.
Not our allotment. And
Yeah.
I suspect this very nice, polite robot would have something to say if we started taking stuff from the
We
allotment.
could just ask, can we have some of your carrots, or is that like a no-no?
What for?
To consume bodily.
Did you what?
Like we put them inside ourselves, then they eventually kind of come out as a different thing.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm so enthused by your lack of enthusiasm for flesh. It's great.
why would you want to do that?
It keeps us going.
A fuel source.
Oh. It looks like the thought that this is what the for has never actually crossed his mind.
Sorry to sicken you on your life's work and whatnot, but
I suppose if you're a robot, right, vegetables and trees are functionally identical because
Yeah.
they're just things that won't grow, and you've been asked to grow them.
and you've grown them really well. They look like appealing carrots.
It seems like he's not up for it. Let's just move on.
Bye, friend.
Pig doffs his hat, and Pig's little mechanical man also doffs his little mechanical hat.
I'd keep your
Leaves
mechanical
a
friend.
scarf.
Aw.
Peter, when we get back, we're having words about. I know you don't like him, but he's here.
Just because
Unfortunately,
we
No,
treat
not unfortunate. Just unfortunate is your attitude.
you need to refocus your aggression against damp Kenneth. Like you're good at it. There's some overspill there that's like I don't know why it's against our son, but it is.
Kenneth is like a vessel that can never be filled. You get endless amounts of aggression we can pour upon damp Kenneth.
I'm just certain that we're going to be betrayed one of these days.
Our son isn't any kind of wet. Like
The least wet son one could possibly have.
the driest son.
And you are very keen on betraying him.
I'm not sure why, but all this talk about a wet sun is making me very uncomfortable.
There are two doors that lead out. Obviously, there's the one you came in. There's another door on the same wall as the door you came in, and there's one more or less facing you behind the sheds.
I should be drawing a map or something.
Yeah. The one behind the sheds sounds pretty promising though. We can be like, Mr. Tomton, does this door lead towards the maze, the one behind the sheds?
Well, that leads to the orchard.
The orchard. Is the orchard quite nice?
There are lots of big trees, and they have that what do you call it?
Fruit.
Yes, fruit.
That'd be of no concern to you, of course.
No,
You're a vegetable
it,
man.
it falls to the ground. It makes it quite messy. I don't like it so much.
And do you know where the other door goes?
That goes to the lawn.
The lawn.
I would maybe vote for the lawn.
Okay.
I could blend right in.
So-
I vote lawn.
So the lawn door, that is the one. Sorry, this is thrilling
That was the
radio.
one
Sure.
that's on the same wall as the.
The one that we came
one that
on.
you came in,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's this one.
I like that we've clearly adapted from last time.
Let's go through to the lawn.
You step through the door into another one of these long lanes, and there's another gate at the other end of it.
Okay. These connecting areas seem strange to me, but we'll just continue through for now.
You have a problem with alleyways now. Like, what is your attitude today? Like, we're on a nice day. It's just a tunnel. Just a nice alleyway. There's no trouble. Nothing bad's happened.
No, I recognise that nothing's bad's happened, but I just think it's strange that we have like this open area and this little closed area, and then like I don't see why it doesn't just go straight into the lawn from the allotments.
People need a place to pee.
Step into this area. What it is it must have once been a very nice lawn, but this is the largest of the areas you've been in. You can see quite far off in the distance there are a number of doors leading out this way. 5 in fact, but the lawn is overgrown with tall grass that come up to almost waist height on Peter and Gitbit, and probably,
Almost hat height.
Yeah, well, more or less face height for Pig.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I've just had an idea. Do we have anything that's like quite light and soft on our person?
Light and soft.
Maybe a piece of string or a bit of paper or something.
I only carry swords.
Can I just take like a stone from the floor?
Mm-hmm.
And I will cast Assassin's Dagger on it and whisper the name Vylon. What was it called?
It was Vylon Gagni Azdak.
And I will attempt to cast Assassin's Dagger with the target being Vylon Dagni Azdak.
Gagny
Would
Azdak.
you like me to cast instead?
Well, if you'd like, but this way I might be able to level it up.
Go on. Vylon Gagni Azdak.
That is a success, but I do lose 3 stamina.
The stone heads towards the... So, as you come in, the door that's at roughly maybe 7, 8 o'clock relative to your position.
So, south.
It's the immediate door to the left of the one you've came in. There's 5 in total. The lawn's a hexagonal area, and at each corner of the hexagon is a door.
Okay.
Going clockwise, it's the immediate next one that the stone shoots off through the long grass and starts sort of bumping against the gate.
Redraw
the
the
doorway.
map slightly.
When you cast your spell, I'll be like, ooh, we're doing our spells! And I'll shoot a firebolt into the grass.
I'm doing our spells because what we have learned is that he is presumably alive.
Okay. He could be going for his corpse.
Could be going for his corpse, but I don't know how well
But
the
we'll
spell
find
works.
that out and we'll see how well it goes. And I'll see how well the grass burns.
Okay, you take a point of stamina off.
That's a 7. And what am I looking for here? 7.
You've equalled the number?
I've equalled the number.
Gitbit's face screws up a little bit in a moment of concentration, and he hurls a big firebolt into the grass. The area he hits starts to smoulder slightly, and something starts rustling.
I think it is now immediately time to leave.
Swords out. Come at me then!
I was ready for this, of course.
Yes.
It's easy to be prepared for fight starting if you're starting all the fights.
This is it, son, to glory and death.
Yes!
What bursts out of the grass to assault us?
What indeed? The only way to be sure is to join us next time on Ludonauts. In the meantime, feel free to share this with your friends or even your enemies if you feel they might enjoy it. Additionally, I can now reveal to you all that there will in fact be a summer special of Ludonauts, which will be released between this episode and the next one. Stay tuned.